Deep in the heart of a steamy green jungle, a rickety old bus carrying a gaggle of tourists had strayed too far off the main path. The driver, in a moment of absent-minded map reading, had taken a wrong turn, and now they were stranded on the edge of a raging river. The water was dark, foaming, and moving way too fast to cross. The passengers, a mix of families, couples, and solo adventurers, all began to panic. Some started to cry, others ran aimlessly around the bus, making it rock dangerously on the muddy shore. But it was no use. There was no cell signal in this part of the jungle, and the river was simply too dangerous to swim across. They were completely cut off from the rest of the world. Then, as if sensing their fear, the jungle seemed to stir. From the banks, menacing crocodiles and water snakes slithered out to watch the humans, their beady eyes gleaming with anticipation. Gulls and other large birds with sharp beaks circled overhead, screeching loudly. And from the trees came the eyes of jungle cats, glowing like embers in the gathering gloom. It was a terrifying sight that sent shivers down the spines of even the bravest souls. But amidst the chaos, one person remained calm: Ravi, their guide, a wiry man with a shock of white hair and a face etched with the wisdom of years spent in the wild, quickly took charge. He grabbed a long rope from the bus and shouted to the group in a voice that boomed with authority, "Everyone, stay calm. We have to think of a way across the river. There's a village a few miles down the river from here. If we can get there, they can help us." His words, though firm, were kind, and for a moment his confidence calmed the rising tide of panic. The passengers, listening to Ravi's instructions, slowly began to come back from the brink of hysteria. Working together, they managed to tie the rope securely to the strongest tree near the riverbank. Then, with hearts still pounding, they started to make a narrow path across the slippery, moss-covered rocks in the riverbed. The water, icy cold, rose around their legs, sometimes swirling ominously and threatening to pull them under. Every step was a gamble, every foothold precarious. One wrong move and they could be swept away by the current, or worse, become prey to the lurking crocodiles. As they moved forward, the jungle pressed in around them, a wall of green watching, testing them at every turn. Vines hanging from the trees brushed against their faces, their fetid breath hot and humid. Insects the size and shape of a man's thumb buzzed angrily, dive-bombing over the shallow water. But the group pressed on, spurred on by Ravi's quiet determination and their own will to survive. Finally, after what seemed like an eternity, they reached the opposite bank, their muscles aching, their clothes torn and muddy, but alive. They had made it. As they stumbled out of the river and onto the solid ground, the dense foliage ahead shimmered, and through the gaps in the leaves they could see it a waterfall, its water sparkling and dancing. In the sunlight, a shimmering ribbon of silver in the emerald tapestry. Hope surged through them all, a shared understanding that they had not only conquered the river, but had also emerged stronger, more resilient, and deeply appreciative of life itself. They had faced the perils of the untamed wilderness and come out on the other side, forever bound by their shared experience. The waterfall beckoned, promising a cleansing, a baptism of sorts, a symbol of the new strength they had discovered within themselves. One by one, they stepped into the cool water, letting it wash over them, washing away the fear and fatigue, leaving behind only a sense of triumph and the promise of a new beginning.